How amazing does that look?
Oh, I want to slice now.
Mouth-watering stuff.
Delish.
Aha, Chef Zozo in the house. You know what? We are taking your calls this morning because, I mean, we want to help you be a better cook and a better chef.
Always.
Absolutely. So we got a couple of questions we've asked you to actually ask us, and then every Thursday we're going to answer your cooking questions, sorting out your culinary conundrums. We have our first caller on the line. Who do we have? Good morning. Mrs. Chiba.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning, my dear. How are you?
Fine, and you?
Good. What can we do for you? What is your question for Zola?
I just made a plain cake or the cupcake, but it's very dry.
Okay, that is a problem that most people face. What I can say to you is maybe try not over mixing so much. So stir just enough to sort of incorporate everything, because if you over mix, the mixture tends to be dry. Also, don't over bake whatever you're baking. Also remember that at different altitudes, flour absorbs different amounts of liquids. So if you sort of mix it and you see that it's a bit dry, add a little bit extra milk or whatever the liquid that the recipe calls for. Sure. But don't mess with it too much, because obviously baking is a science. But once you've made it more than once, you'll sort of know the perfect texture. But yeah, golden rule, don't over mix, don't over bake.
That's it. Mrs. Chiba, does that help?
Yes.
All right, perfect. Have a lovely day further.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Jeez, wow, that is very sciencey, eh?
No, it is.
Just altitudes and everything.
Yeah, flour is a tricky thing, but you know,
that's it.
You just keep going, keep trying, and everything will be fine.
All right, cool. So then we had some questions from our social media pages as well. First question from Huffy Parker says, can I use Solati brown sugar instead of Demerara for crunchies?
Absolutely. Well, the Demerara sugar is actually a little bit more caramelly. You'll see that the colors are a little darker. It's a little more moist than brown sugar, but you can interchange the two. What I would suggest, though, if you use plain brown sugar, add a little bit of extra honey or golden syrup to your crunchy mix, just to give it that extra syrupy taste.
That extra syrupy taste.
Extra
that
taste.
little bit extra. And then we have another question from Fadila Hamdoulay. I made a date and walnut loaf, and it sagged slightly in the middle, but was baked through. Please advise.
Okay, so this is what you did. What you did was you opened the oven too quickly. This is a golden rule when baking. Don't open the oven until at least half the cooking time is over. Because what happens is the structure doesn't form, and you open the door, this like gust of cold air comes in and it sinks your bread.
Oh, wow. So simple as that?
Simple as that.
So basically the same thing like you would for maybe a meringue or something. If you do a meringue in the oven or something, keep the door closed.
Keep the door closed for as long as possible. That's why they have a light, you see. So you can put the light in, you can look through the door. You don't have to like open it all the time.
Okay, well, there we go. I hope that answers your question. We have another caller on the line. This is Naidu. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, all right. What is your question for Zola this morning?
Okay, my question is, when making red velvet cupcakes, morning, how are you?
Good.
Yes, so you were saying about red velvet cupcakes.
Yes, the icing tends to get too watery. I need to know, I'm using the correct amount of the icing sugar and cottage cheese, but it's a bit too watery to pipe. I need to pipe the icing onto the red velvet cupcakes, but it's too watery.
Okay, well, that's very easily fixable. Just add a little extra sifted icing sugar, and it'll stiffen everything up. Also, what might help is putting it into the fridge before you actually pipe it on. So it'll set the butter and it'll be a little bit more solid. Yeah. So if it tastes delicious, then you're not doing anything wrong. Just put it in the fridge for a little bit. That's all.
Okay, thank you so much,
Pleasure.
Thank you for your question, Mrs. Naidu. There we go. Some very interesting questions this morning.
Very interesting. I love these.
But nothing that Zola can't fix, which is the
well,
great
you know,
thing.
I don't know everything, but I try for you.
You try for us. All right, well, this is great. I mean, we do this every Thursday. We're answering your cooking questions or your culinary conundrums, and we have our chefs answering those questions. Remember, next week, Thursday, we'll do the same. Log on to our social media pages, Expresso Morning Show, SABC3, and ask your question with the hashtag AskExpresso, and also on Twitter, @Expresso Show, with the same hashtag, AskExpresso. Next week, Thursday, we'll be back, and we'll answering and taking your calls. Call Zola. Call Zola right now. It's time for a word from our Nedbank News Network team.